All right, my friends. Well, happy Wednesday, I believe. Welcome to the Noon Flow and Go. We're going to get started right about meow. So I'm going to encourage you to, if you know that you have sensitive knees, grab some sort of cushion that you can use between your knees and the floor. That'll come in handy several times. But let's get started in the most comfortable position you can possibly find. So it's going to be very subjective for each of you. For me, I would be flat on my back. I know if your low back is bothering you, perhaps you're in a seated position or maybe you're resting on your side instead. But I'm just going to invite you to find the most comfortable position that you possibly can. Just take a few moments to settle in. Maybe just noticing if there are things already starting and trying to pull you away. That is the stuff of life, my friends. Constant distractions. And it is this practice, this yoga, this continual efforted energy that we put towards bringing ourselves back to the present that characterizes our theme of the week. So this week we're diving into sadhana. And several months ago, we also kind of took a little quick dive into sadhana, but the definition, the translation of this term means a spiritual practice. Now, it doesn't have to have anything to do with a deity or anything that we conventionally believe to be spiritual, but a practice is something that we put repeated effort into. And the fact that our lives are so busy, are so full, are so stretched in multiple directions, the fact that you are putting energy into something multiple times over and over again, that is where the spiritual nature comes into play. The fact that you keep coming back means that there's something that you're getting out of this that's much deeper than a surface level. So as you rest or sit or lie, wherever you are, take a deep breath in. And open your mouth, let that exhale go. Again, deep breath in. Feel yourself arrive right here, let it go. One last time, all together. Fill up, breathe in slowly. Then exhale, empty your lungs. And noticing just that brief moment of clarity, that pause between your breath in, your breath out, that perfect moment of balance. What do you hold in that space? What is it that keeps drawing you back? What is it that our sadhana today is efforted in honor of? So if you're using the playlist and you haven't already hit go, now is a great time to get that started. And start to make your way onto your back. Now, of course, at any time, if you can't hear me or if I freeze, maybe just throw something up in that chat or unmute yourself, give me a shout. But as you get settled on your back here, let's begin with bent knees. So head and shoulders are heavy on the mat, both knees are bent. And just practice the very, very subtle effort here of flattening your low back into the floor. Think about curling your tailbone up towards the ceiling, not so much that your hips lift, but you come right to the base edge of that sacrum. And then take a big breath in, release, let that natural lumbar curve come back in. Exhale, flatten your low back, curl your tailbone upward. Inhale, release. Exhale, flatten the low back. And this time, keep it there. Keep your low back braced. Keep your core just softly engaged here. That will come in handy about 57,000 times today. Start to hug your right knee in towards your chest. Keeping your low back flat on the mat. Maybe take some little half or full hip circles on the right side. And as you're ready, start to slide that left leg long. Good. Continue to press through your left heel, driving the sole of that foot away from you as you hug your right knee in towards your chest. Good. Now changing up your grip just a little bit here. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. We're going to start to create some tension. So that bracing of your core is allowing your low back to stay connected to the floor. We want to keep that here. So by interlacing your fingers behind your right hamstrings, engage through your right ankle, turn your right calf on, and start to firm your entire right leg. And then it's going to be a tug of war. Think about pushing your right thigh into your hands while you're pulling your hands into your right thigh. Notice how easy it would be to just let your ribs flare up towards the ceiling, but instead keep drawing your belly in and down. Keep flattening your low back towards the floor. Engage through your glutes. You know, just basically light yourself on fire from the inside out. And exhale, softly release. You're going to release that interlace of your fingers and then rejoin that bind once again. This time facing your palms towards the quadriceps, palms towards the top of your right thigh. This one's going to be a little bit gnarlier. Flatten your low back into the floor once again. Press your hands into your thigh. Press your thigh into your hands. You should start to feel your belly work here. Keep that engagement. Keep breathing. And exhale, soften. Rebend your left knee. Cross your right ankle over your left knee for a little figure four here. Arms can come out to a T. And by sliding your left foot a little closer to your hips, start to pick your hips up in that figure four shape. Just opening up the inner right hip crease. Maybe drop the right knee down towards the right, just a little bit to add a twist into that hip lift. Lovely. And then exhale, release your hips all the way back down. You're crossing your right thigh a little more tightly on top of your left thigh, floating both shins to parallel the floor. Notice if your low back has lifted up off the floor. If it has, re-flatten, re-engage through your belly here. Without using your hands, think about squeezing your outer ankles a little closer together. So the pinky toes are coming a little bit closer together. I know this is kind of a funky acrobatic situation here, but this is how we learn kind of how to squeeze in and draw apart at the same time. So as your legs are interlaced here, think about drawing your legs apart. You should feel the lateral edges of your legs, the outer thighs, the outer IT bands here start to get nice and toasty. Continue to draw your back down and into the mat as you pull your legs apart. Big breath in. And exhale, soften that intensity. Slowly lower your cross thighs over to the left for a twist. Now, no matter what parts of you find the floor, maybe you need to walk those heels a little bit farther away from your left arm to decrease the intensity of that twist. But wherever you are, flip your right palm open towards the sky and reach your right fingers farther away from you. Good. Release the right arm first. Palm comes back down to the floor. Engage through your obliques to help you draw your legs back through center. Unravel. Feet to the floor. Left knee hugs in. For that little half pillar pose, take your little circles, your half circles here, just a little movement in the left hip socket. And begin to drive through that right heel, right leg lengthening out on the mat. Now for some of us, this is going to feel very gentle, or maybe not like much of a stretch at all. For others, this is going to be everything that we've been waiting for. So take what you need, shift it, rearrange it. And when you're ready to dial up the heat a little bit here, interlace your fingers behind your left hamstrings. Start to firm through your entire left leg. Dorsiflex your left ankle. Fire up through the left calf to help that entire leg stay braced. Low back to the floor. Find your power of oppositions. Press your left thigh into your hands. Pull your hands against your left hamstrings. Flatten your low back to the floor. You're gonna get so sick of me saying that today. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Release that intensity. Release the bind of your fingers. And then rebind. Palms connect to the top of your left thigh. Keep that engagement in the left leg. Again, flatten your low back to the floor. Press palms into thigh, thigh into palms. Notice the subtleties of where you feel this. That's different compared to the pulling. So here we're pushing. A moment ago we were pulling. How is that different? Physically in your core, there are different fibers working. Big breath in. And exhale. Release. Rebend your right knee. Figure four. Left ankle over your right knee. Arms down by your sides or to a T. Very casually begin to pick your hips up in that figure four shape. Maybe dropping the left knee down if that feels nice on your low back. And as you're ready, lower your hips down. Slide left thigh more on top of right thigh. Pick your shins up to parallel the floor. Pinky toes are gonna slide a little closer together here. And again, start to pull your legs apart. They're locked in place by your knees, so they're not actually going to separate, but pull. Feel all the muscles that would do that work for you. Flatten your low back to the floor. Big breath in. And exhale, soften that intensity. Arms out to a T. Slowly drop your cross knees to the right. Change up anything that needs to be changed here. And if you'd like to layer on a little neural tensioning here, a little nerve stretch, flip your left palm open towards the ceiling. Reach your left fingers away from you. Bring your left palm back down to the floor. Inhale, brace through your belly to bring your knees back through center. Unravel through the legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, rocking a bit from side to side. Eventually starting to build some momentum here, rocking forward and back. Maybe just a few inches to begin, and then several more inches until eventually we'll meet in a downward facing dog. That can be a big dramatic transition, or it can be slow, intentional. But all of us meeting in that Adho Mukha Svanasana. If this is your first one of the day, do what you need to do. Maybe rise up to the tiptoes, pedal out through the heels, find all those Rice Krispies that like to live in the ankle joints. So with this being a flow and go style class, we're going to take the heat that we just built on our backs and start to translate that upward. Eventually, we'll build a nice long sequence together, and you'll have some opportunities to move and groove on your own a bit more towards the end of class. But for now, close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Keep the eyes closed, open your mouth, exhale. Come back to that moment of space between your breath in and your breath out. What lives there? What is it that keeps bringing you back? Blink the eyes open. Peek forward between your thumbs and start your unique journey of walking the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale, rise up halfway. And exhale, bend your knees quite deeply, forward fold. Inhale, root down through your feet, reach your arms all the way up and out. As palms meet above you, exhale, draw hands to heart center. Lovely, bring one hand to your low back, one hand to your low belly. And just get to know your unique pelvic tilt here. So for a lot of us, we're doing much more sitting than we're used to. So with the peak pose this week being chair pose, it's very grumble worthy when our low back is already feeling like total shit. You know, just hot garbage. So using your hands as kind of a measuring instrument here, I want you to bend your knees a little bit. And just like we did on the floor, think about gently tucking your tailbone so that your sacrum comes a little bit more down towards the floor. And then engage what needs to engage to hold that in place, re-lengthen through your legs, squeeze through your glutes. Now, if that feels worse than it did before, soften everything, go back to your natural tilt. If this feels like you have a little bit more low back space, I challenge you to find this pelvic arrangement every time we come back to mountain pose. Great. You can always like check in on your butt cheeks if you need a confidence booster, just reach back and be like, good job. Doing so much supporting. So right here from your mountain pose, bring your arms down by your sides, flip your palms to face forward. Big breath in, sweep them up and overhead. Exhale, soften the glutes, bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step one foot back, fit the next for high plank pose. I'm gonna modify this first vinyasa. If you know where you're headed, do the damn thing. Drop your knees if you're with me. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward of your wrists, and exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale to pick up your chin, your chest, and your palms. Tuck your tailbone down towards the floor. Protect your low back with your glutes. And exhale, tap chin to floor, tuck your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Every single vinyasa is going to be optional today. Each time I teach one, I'll teach a slightly more advanced version. Again, if you know how to move in the way that serves you best, keep doing that. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, travel forward. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Knees might still bend here. Inhale, stand up tall, reach up high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Assess what your pelvis needs to do for stability here. And inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, travel to plank. Feet step back. If you're with me, this time, knees are dropping. Inhale, shoulders shift forward of your wrists. And exhale, lower halfway and hover. Lower all the way down to the floor as you inhale. Pick up your chin, your chest, a little bit of weight in your palms as your belly button lifts for cobra. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, look forward. Then exhale, travel forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees quite deeply here. Bring your belly and your ribcage to rest on top of your thighs. Look down at your feet. You should have 1 to 2 fist widths between your feet here. That might change later. And because you're bent so far forward, bring your fingertips to tap several inches outside the line of your heels. I know that's obnoxiously specific, but let's start there and then make changes later. Fingertips are tapping outside the line of your heels. Think about sitting your hips back so far that you almost feel like you're gonna fall over. You're not. Reach back, pat your butt cheeks, good job. And then keep your hips low, start to pick your chest up, reach your fingers straight forward. Great, isometrically, without actually moving your feet, try and slide your feet apart. You should feel those muscles that we felt on our backs earlier, trying to pull our legs apart. Fire back up, outer thighs. Inhale, stand up tall, reach up high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your vinyasa. Feet step back, high plank or tabletop. If you're with me, we're modifying again. Inhale, shift forward in high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, press into your hands. Press into the tops of your feet and start to lift your knees and your thighs for upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. Look up at your right hand, tent onto your right fingertips. You have now made a beautiful little parking spot for your right toes. When you're ready, nothing fancy, step your right foot into that parking space. Good. Now step your left foot as wide as the left edge of your mat. Pivot your left heel 45 degrees. Keep your chest low, bring your hands to your hips. Square your hips. Left hip draws forward, right hip draws back. You're going to feel your right hamstrings tell you some things. Keep your hips square, stand up nice and tall. Inhale, reach your fingers straight up overhead. Warrior one. Big breath in, draw your tailbone down if that feels better for you. And just very casually catch your breath because Jesus Christ, this is hard. Big breath in. Full breath out. Start to wiggle your right foot to the middle of your mat. Frame it with both hands. Big step back, down dog. Second side, make your parking spot under your left palm, tent to your left fingers. Inhale, then exhale, left foot into that parking spot. Right foot to the right edge of your mat. Pivot 45 degrees with the heel. Keep your chest low, hands to the hips. Draw left hip back, right hip forward. Gently stand up tall. Hands reach into the air. Virabhadrasana 1. Notice what's shaking. Notice what's stable. What part of that spiritual practice, that journey are you on right now? The nice one? Or is it all uphill right now? Breathe in. Wiggle your left foot to the middle of the mat. Breathe out. Plant your hands. Big step forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Belly to thighs. Fingertips tap the line of your heels. Drop your hips a little bit lower. And then inhale, start to lift your chest up. Reach your fingers forward. If this feels nice, stay. If you're ready to up it just a little bit, keep your hips just as low. Reach your chest up, reach your fingers in line with your ears. And inhale, stand up tall, look up high, reach up higher. Exhale, stay tall, hands through heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's do that all again. Inhale, look up high, reach up high. Exhale, settle your hips back, chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, you decide if the fingers are reaching forward or up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your vinyasa, feet step back to plank. If you're with me, it's the full thing. Inhale, shoulders forward of your wrists. Exhale, lower halfway and hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, let your right leg lift. And exhale, step it underneath your right palm. Pivot that left foot 45 degrees. Square your hips as you reach up high, warrior one. Full exhale here. Inhale, wiggle your right foot to the middle of the mat. Exhale, plant palms, step back, downward facing dog. Each breath has a movement. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step left foot to top of mat. Right foot pivots 45 degrees. Breathe in, warrior one. Breathe out. Wiggle left foot to the middle of the mat. Breathe in. Then exhale, frame your left foot, step right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees deeply, reach your fingers in line with your heels. Inhale, your chair pose. Exhale, hold. Inhale, stand up tall, reach up high. And exhale, hands through heart center. Blink your eyes closed just for a moment. Let it all go. Use this time now that we've got some heat going, now that the breath rate and the heart rate are elevated, can you still find that perfectly suspended moment between your inhale and your exhale? letting everything that has come before drift away. None of it matters. Blink your eyes open. Take an inhale, reach your hands all the way up in the air. And as you exhale, keep your right arm extended high, bring your left hand to your left hip. Now this position might change. It's gonna be up to you. Root down through both feet. Inhale, reach higher through your right fingers. And exhale, side bend to the left. Now if that left hand feels like it's getting in your way, maybe slide your left hand down your lateral outer left thigh. Roll your right armpit away from your face. And inhale, come back through center, all 10 fingers lift. Exhale, it's a twist. Hips stay squared forward, left fingers forward, right fingers back. Now you're gonna feel some stuff in your right shoulder. That's good, we want that. Channel that heat down your right shoulder blade as you keep reaching your fingers apart. Inhale, start to peel your right heel off the floor, right toes off the floor, right knee in front of right hip. This always makes me feel like a figure skater. And as you exhale, big transition, right foot to the back of the mat, right hand inside your left foot, left fingers to the ceiling. Let's do a quick direction check here. Your left foot and your right hand are at the top of the mat. Your chest is twisting to the left as your left fingers reach high. Your right heel is reaching past the back edge of your mat. Big breath in. Big breath out. As you inhale, start to reach your left fingers directly forward. Your chest is now parallel to your mat. Reach like crazy through your right heel to help you balance. Send right fingers forward for thunderbolt pose. Inhale, get up nice and tall, crescent lunge. Exhale, thunderbolt. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. One more time. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. Engage through your belly to help send your low back more towards the ceiling. And step right foot to mirror left foot, chair pose. Woo. Inhale. Exhale, fold, two long legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your vinyasa. Hands plant, feet step back. Maybe you skip that vinyasa altogether and go straight to down dog. If you're with me, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in, ripple forward. And exhale, lower your knees to the mat, tabletop pose. Left foot stays, right foot steps directly off the right edge of your mat. Great, stand up nice and tall on your left shin here. Bring your hands to your hips. And ever so gracefully, this is gonna look adorable to any passers-by. Just shift your hips from side to side. So our hips are arranged in a way here where we're gonna get to know the edges of the that's not the word I want, the outer and the innermost hip socket. We're gonna hit those edges quickly. Lovely. Hinging forward, right hand comes to the mat directly beneath your face, and then send that right hand several inches forward. Threading the needle here. Left arm's going underneath your right arm. Maybe bend into your right arm to help you find stability. You're reaching those left toes towards you're reaching your left fingers towards your right toes. Maybe, just maybe, the left shoulder, the left side of the head connect to the floor. And if so, your right arm can extend directly forward. You can stay still, or again, shift the hips a bit from side to side. Using this moment as part of the journey, catch a breath. To pause as you are quite literally folding in on yourself. So reflect. Right hand comes beneath the right shoulder. Start to press yourself back up. Left hand beneath left shoulder, right hand beneath right shoulder. Draw your belly in, neutralize your low back. Pick your right foot straight up and send it directly behind you. Exhale, hug it in. Rise up to your fingertips, step that right foot forward. Nice. Standing splits is our next stop. Tuck your left toes, Rocket yourself forward. Fingers come off the top edge of your mat as your left hip opens, your left heel lifts. So you've got some freedom here in the standing splits to open the hips rather than keeping them directly square. Left knee bends, left foot meets right foot, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to the top. Left fingers stay lifting. Exhale, right hand to your right hip. Root down evenly in both feet. Breathe in, reach up through your left fingers. And exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Hips stay squared forward. Right fingers reach ahead of you. Left fingers reach behind you. Squeeze your left shoulder blade towards the midline of your spine. Inhale, begin to lift your left foot off the floor. Left knee might come in line with left hip. And as you exhale, big transition, revolve runner's lunge. Left foot to the back of the mat. Left hand inside right foot, right fingers reach to the ceiling. Good, reaching long. Wonderful. Breathe one more moment here. Lovely. Not gonna lie, being on the internet sometimes makes me super nervous. I just blacked out and I completely forgot what's happening. Don't worry, this is why I have notes. Great, I know what's happening. Awesome, your revolve runner's lunge. Reach your right fingers directly forward. Square your chest to the floor. Good. Puff up through the back of your left hamstrings. Reach your left fingers forward, thunderbolts. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. Inhale, crescent. Last one. Exhale, thunderbolt pose. Draw your belly in and up. Step left foot to meet right foot, chair pose. Woof. Next exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Adding in whatever you need to here. From down dog, inhale, ripple forward. Lower your knees to the floor. Keep your right knee down. Step your left foot off the left edge of the mat. Hands to hips, stand up tall. Just a couple moments here. Shift your hips from side to side. Get to know the inner left thigh, the outer right hip. And as you're ready, hinge forward, left palm to the mat, several inches ahead of you. Right arm threads under, right fingers are reaching for your left toes. Eventually that right shoulder and right side of the head will come down to the floor. If you find that connection, slide your left fingers directly forward. I do believe that this is a Cirque du Soleil prerequisite move. So congratulations, you're all admitted to the circus. Bring your left palm back in. Press yourself up as you unravel. Palms plant beneath your shoulders. Brace through your belly. Think about sending your low back towards the ceiling here. Take your left foot straight up. Send it straight back. Exhale, knee to nose. Puff up to your fingertips. Step that left foot forward. You've got some leverage on your back foot. So when you're ready, tuck your back toes. Rocket yourself forward. Fingertips ahead of you. Roll your right hip open as you send your heel high. And exhale, release right foot to meet left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand up tall, reach up high. Let your palms touch. Stay tall here, but bring your thumbs back to heart center. Blink your eyes closed. One last time together here. Draw in. Notice how you're feeling now compared to how you felt 10, 20, 30 minutes ago. We'll go through the sequence together fully, one more time on each side. And then you'll have some time to just play. So really feel it, really take it in. And then modify where you need. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, left hand down your left side as you side bend to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist, left fingers forward. Inhale, start to pick up your right knee. Exhale, revolve runner's lunge, right hand inside your left foot, right foot back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, left fingers reach forward, start to prepare for that thunderbolt pose. Reach your right fingers to parallel your left fingers. Inhale, high crescent, draw your right heel down and back. Exhale, thunderbolts. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolts. Right foot steps to meet left foot. Draw your tailbone down so your chest can lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, your vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale, ripple forward. Lower your knees to tabletop. Right foot steps off to the right. Right palm stays planted on the mat. Take a big breath in. And exhale, start to thread left fingers towards right toes. Can you get them a little closer together this time? As your left shoulder lowers to or towards the mat, extend your right finger straight forward. Bring your right hand back in towards you. Press into that palm as you unravel. Palms plant beneath the shoulders. Pick your right foot straight up, straight back. Exhale, hug it in. Maybe this time you hover off the hands completely as you step that right foot forward. Kick off your left toes and lift your left heel high, swinging splits. Inhale. Exhale, left foot meets right foot. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Last time together, inhale nice and high, look up, reach up. And exhale, side bend to the right, right hand down your right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left, right fingers lead. Inhale, pick up your left leg. And exhale, revolve, runner's lunge. Left toes back, left hand inside right foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, right fingers reach directly forward. Prepare for thunderbolt as left palm reaches to meet right palm. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, thunderbolt. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. Last one, inhale, crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt. Feel your right leg working for you. Left foot meets right foot. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lifts. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, your vinyasa to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward. Lower your knees to tabletop. Left foot steps off to the left. Left palm stays connected to the floor. Start to thread right arm underneath. Right toes traveling to or toward your left toes. Right fingers, that is, traveling towards your left toes. Eventually, left arm extends directly forward. Left palm comes back in. Unravel, palms beneath shoulders. Left leg lifts directly up. Directly back. Exhale, hug it in. Fingers might help, or maybe they hover. So you step left foot forward, ricochet up, standing splits. And exhale, step right foot to meet left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. And draw your hands to heart center. So one of the beauties of virtual class is that this would be an awesome time. If you feel like you're really in the groove, crank the playlist, maybe leave your video on or turn it off and just go to town. I'll be going through that sequence slowly on my own, so if you do feel like you're a little lost or you can't quite remember what comes where, feel free to peek up at your screen. But for the next several minutes, your mat is your own, just move. So wherever you are, inhale and exhale. And I'll let you know when it's time to meet in child's pose. Wherever you are, just noticing, soaking it all in. What is it that you feel and where? Enjoying the next 30 seconds or so to either complete a side or add in whatever it is you feel that you're missing before we start to take it down. Making your way towards child's pose, not rushing, knowing that it'll be there when you're ready. If you haven't quite made your way to that child's pose yet, no worries. Likely you'll be able to join in wherever we might meet again. You happen to be in that Balasana, start to inch yourself forward, coming to rest all the way on your belly. Maybe making a little pillow with your palms or your forearms for your forehead. If you'd like for this to be a little more casual, maybe rest your chin on your hands. And then as you're ready, tuck your right toes. This might sound a little strange, but tuck your right toes. Drive back through your right heel and think about engaging just your right quadriceps. So squeeze your right thigh and do your best to lift the front line of your right leg a little higher up off the mat. Now, if you have hella strong quads, likely your entire right leg will not lift up off the floor. That's lovely. We're just lifting, that's all. Doesn't matter how high. Likely you're feeling some of that burn slide back into your right leg. Draw it in, draw it in, draw it in. And then exhale, release your right thigh back down towards the floor. Untuck your toes, bend your right knee. Here, a prop might come in handy, maybe, just maybe. If it feels like enough of a stretch, simply to bend your knee, maintain that. Option to reach back with your right hand, catch your right foot. Begin to draw your right heel in closer towards your bum. If you have a strap and a little go-go gadget arm extender, feel free to use that as well. But eventually you're lowering your chin or your cheek down to that left hand. And as you draw your right heel in closer to your right glutes, tuck your tailbone down towards the floor. The more you press your pelvis into the mat, the more we engage that stretch through the quads. Next inhale, release slowly that right leg long. Just shaking the heels from side to side, maybe registering any difference between the left and the right. And then we'll progress to the second side. Legs are long and heavy. Tuck your left toes. Drive back through your left heel. Begin to engage through your left quads. Think about the front line of your left leg lifting. Trying to soften the glutes, soften the right leg, simply focus on the quads of the left. Last breath in, and exhale, release. Bend your left knee, either with your hand, your prop, or nothing. Take this stretch where you need to go. Drawing left heel towards left glute, engaging through the tailbone by tucking it down towards the mat. Last breath in and out. Release that left leg long. Bring your left palm beneath your left shoulder. Send your right arm out to a T. Bend your left knee once again and roll onto your right side for a little scorpion stretch. Opening up through the front of your right shoulder, maybe a bit through the chest. And then gently coming back through center, switch sides, right palm under your right shoulder, left arm out to a T. Bend your right knee, roll to your left side. Making your way back through center. Sphinx pose just for a moment. Forearm slide directly in front of you. Elbows right underneath your shoulders. Spread your palms wide here. Feeling the low back compress. And then with the help of the core, let's begin to draw your chin to your chest. Engage through that rectus abdominis. Thinking about bringing your rib tips and your hip points closer together. Think cat back. Round, 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 round. Begin to pick up your hips. Pick up your quads, walk your arms back, returning to child's pose. Walking the hands part way or all the way in. Send your feet to one side, bring your hips to the back. Bringing your bum to the midway point of your space. And however you choose, lower all the way back. Bring your knees into your chest with you. Rocking a bit from side to side. Perhaps some little low back circles here. Keep your right knee hugging into your chest. Send your left leg long on the floor. Left hand hangs onto your right shin. Right arm opens either to a T or a goalpost position. Guide your right shin off to the left for a little twisted pillar. If you'd like to stretch out through that IT band zone, that lateral, that outer thigh, perhaps here you begin to extend long through that right leg. And then rebending the knee, come back through center. Half happy baby. Left knee can bend if you'd like. Right pinky, right fingers come outside the right pinky toe. Elbows inside the knee as you draw that right thigh outside the right rib cage. And then full happy baby, mirroring your right side with your left side. Keeping a hold of the left foot, release your right foot down to the floor. Half happy baby just on the left. And then hug your left knee into your chest. Right leg goes long on the mat, preparing for that second side twist. Right hand to your left shin. Left arm to a T or goalpost position. Draw your left shin across to the right. Maybe, just maybe, you extend along through the left leg. That's a big one. So feel free to omit. Rebending your left knee, returning to center. Any final postures that you might need here, there's plenty of time and space. It might be just little wiggles. It might be poses that you know the full Sanskrit name and spelling. Whether you know these shapes intimately or not, just let your body tell you what it's looking for. Eventually making your way towards Shavasana. Maybe covering yourself or grabbing a pillow or a bolster to prop up your head, your knees, your hips, your shoulders. or if the heat of the practice is still moving and grooving, just feel those waves. Settling into the sensation that by now you know quite well. This is the flavor of sadhana. This practice, this spiritual journey that goes much deeper than the surface level of experience. Yoga doesn't just happen to our body. It doesn't just happen to our mind. It makes its way into both, and that's where the magic happens. Before coming back today, I invite you to use this mind space. So very similar to that perfectly balanced moment between breaths. To ask yourself, what else in your life do you practice like you practice yoga? What else do you come to every few days or maybe once a week for those select few every day? What are you willing to sacrifice your temporary comfort for? The steadiness of your breath. What is it that you are willing to feel the feels about? Is there anything else that you practice in your life that you're willing to dedicate lifetimes in service to? And if you find something or some things draw them a little closer to your heart. Breathe them in. Take a big breath out. And I invite you to put a little bit of time towards those things today, if you haven't yet already. Starting to wake back up. Fingers, toes. Eventually making your way to a seat. More than welcome to stay heavy if that serves you today. The call will eventually end and you'll be left in a perfect nap position. As you find yourself coming more towards that comfortable seat, allow your palms to touch, thumbs to hover in front of your chest. With light, with love, with practice. Namaste.